Hey guys, and welcome back to the Temple of Kung Fu. As always, I am your host, the Shaolin Kid, and tonight's tale is One Armed Swordsmen from 1976. Directed and written? Is it directed and written? Or is it just directed? Starred, directed, written?
I don't know if he wrote it or not.
I don't know if he wrote it, but he did direct it and he stars in it. Jimmy Wang Yu, the legend. If you don't know who that is, that's the One Armed Swordsman. And there's four One Armed Swordsmen in this movie. So I guess that's why it's called One Armed Swordsmen. But yeah, I really liked this movie. You know, it was really stupid, but it was really funny. It was just fun. You know what I mean? I really, really like this movie. It was so dumb because, like Jimmy Wang Yu's, One Armed Swordsman was so, he was such a badass, but he was also such a show-off at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, when you first see him, he just, whenever he fights somebody with a sword, if they're not, a powerful named character, then he just kills them in 5 seconds when he whips out his sword, which I like. I like that little thing, because that's how it works. Because actually, if you didn't know, if you haven't seen the first two One Armed Swordsman films, they're Shaw Brother releases, but this one is not. Which obviously means the Shaw Brother releases are more high quality than this, but this is still an enjoyable film because it's so fun, you know? So basically, a teacher gets killed by a one-armed guy. No, it begins with a funeral procession, and then it's actually not a funeral procession, it's a robbery. There's a bunch of money in there. Bad guy gets his arm cut off by one-armed swordsman. Then another guy but before the guy gets his arm cut off, he cuts off another guy arms of the teacher. And then one-armed swordsman, there's two one-armed swordsmen, and they're suspected to be the killer, but then they're framed, and then they go hunting for the real killer, and then it's like there's a bunch of twists and turns, and then they end up, the twist at the end of the movie is that the teacher was the big bad guy. It was his entire plan to get them both killed and fulfill his plan and whatever, and then he gets killed at the end of the movie because he's a bad guy in a kung fu film, but still. And then there was a Scooby-Doo ending, dude. Like the bad guy, like he ripped off his plastic latex face, and it's like dun dun dun. It's the teacher that died at the beginning of the movie. Remember? I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you one-armed swordsmen. And your pesky one-armed fighting. Anyway. And there's one-armed swordsmen everywhere. There's one-armed swordsmen here. There's one-armed swordsmen there. There's one-armed swordsmen over in your house. They're everywhere, dude. Everywhere. So dumb, but so amazing. But I just, if you like dumb fun at kung fu movies, action movies, I highly recommend it if you can get a copy of it, which we were lucky enough to just find off the shelf. It was a pretty shitty VHS rip on DVD on a flipper disc, but it didn't look terrible. I could kind of see what was going on. Oh, I could see what was going on. The quality of this one, literally, you know how it was watchable, but there was a graphical error that was going through the entire film, where you could see the bottom of the screen at the top and the little sliver of the top of the screen at the bottom. It didn't distract you. Actually, you kind of stop to notice it after you start watching the movie for a while. But when you first start the movie, it's a little weird, but then you get used to it. Yeah, it was a pretty bad rip, and it's clearly supposed to be in widescreen, But since it's a VHS rip, it's in full screen, so you don't see everything that's in the shot. And then there was also a really funny scene, which I thought at the end of the movie, where they started fighting in a chicken coop. The teacher and Jimmy Wang Yu, like, were starting to fight in a chicken coop. They were fighting in a chicken coop, and then chickens just kept flying towards them, just chicken, 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 chicken. Like, there was at one point, like, I feel like at some points, the people behind the camera were just chucking chickens at the actors. It was fucking hilarious. And at one point, like, one chicken just flies right over the camera. I laughed my ass off at that part because I thought it was really funny. The chicken fight coop whatever extravaganza scene is my favorite scene. Jimmy Wang Yu. I thought he was great in this. Jimmy Wang Yu was good in this, but here's the problem. Since we're listening to a dub, we can't really hear his actual acting, so... But I like Jimmy Wang Yu. So guys, do you like Jimmy Wang Yu? And if you do, what's your favorite film by him? Put it down in the comments. If you recommend it to me, man. I want to see more Jimmy Wang Yu. I just think this movie is amazing, and I feel like to really get the experience of this film, you should see it yourself if you feel like you would be interested. So I would rate this movie, like, my Kung Fu rating, it's not, like, I would consider Kung Fu movies a different kind of movie. So I would give it, like, at an enjoyable scale, like an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Obviously, it's not a great movie, but in my eyes, since I love Kung Fu movies so much, I'd just give it an 8. I like it. I just love this movie, man. So, like, yeah. But anyway, as I was saying, watch this movie. Is good. So, guys, I have been the Shaolin Kid. And thanks for stopping by the Temple of Kung Fu. Buddha be praised. Ah! Freeze frame ending! Ha!
You
It
made
was
it
good enough!
You made